So, today we are going to be talking about the social changes that occurred to Native Americans during their time as westward expansion was occurring. The first thing we're going to talk about is the goal of the government, which was to stop social and cultural traits from being passed to younger generations of Native Americans. They wanted to, as you would say, nip it in the bud and start Americanizing Native Americans. And how they do this is through assimilation, which was done through three main sources: boarding schools, religious organizations, and national policies. And all, as it says, all were meant to Americanize Native Americans. And these actions do not paint the best picture for the U.S. government and do not show it in the best of light. The next thing we are going to be talking about is boarding schools. And they wanted to erase every trace of younger Native Americans' former lives. By this, they gave them an American education and American clothing. They even went as far as to get rid of their traditional names and were substituted with a more traditional English name. And they also had to perform upkeep on the schools that they were in as a thank you for letting them be there, and yet they were not compensated for it. The next thing we're going to talk about is religious organizations, and they pushed Native Americans to abandon their traditional religions and to accept the religions of the settlers that were moving in. And when the religious organizations were doing this, they were showing their efforts through journals they were writing, and they would publish those and send them out and ask for money. So really, it was a money scheme in the long run. And the last thing we're going to talk about is national policies, which you have read under the government tab. These include the Homestead Act of 1862 and the Trail of Tears and reservations, which were primarily held in the Oklahoma Territory and were not seen. While they were there, they were not seen by other people. And they were also given rations from the federal government, but these rations were only meant to happen during wartime. So it didn't really make sense that they were giving them, and yet there was not a wartime present. So I hope you have enjoyed going through this interactive module so far, and I encourage you to keep moving forward. Thanks. Bye.